It's time to make more mad orcs. Biff, pow, zap, clunk, clunk, ouchie. Hey guys. Yes, it's orc time again. So far we've seen the creation of the Stompaxe infantry and also the Hookaxe guard, as well as delving further into Vogland lore than is probably medically advisable. We've printed these on the Piocreat HALOT-X1 16K resin printer, and it's done a fabulous job so far, though I confess I will really be putting it to the test today. And we've also done this with honesty because Piocreat have been kind enough to sponsor the creation of these little guys. So let's crack on with some more characters. Every medieval military unit requires scouts to move unseen, gather information, and keep watch for enemy activity. Among Vogland Orcs, this role is complicated by the widespread belief that stealth and covertness are namby-pamby qualities, unworthy of those for whom burping and farting are recognised national treasures. Reconnaissance is not a term used lightly, particularly as very few know what it actually means, and absolutely no one can spell it. Despite this, scout training is conducted with vigilance and care. Recruits are carefully selected from those who exhibit certain characteristics, chiefly amongst these being the ability to remember to turn up for training. They are first taught the importance of remaining unseen, with strong emphasis followed by repeated clarification that covering your eyes does not mean that no one can see you. Many consider this heretical scandal amongst Vogland Orcs and soon begin viewing their instructors with suspicion. Successful candidates then progress to advanced training, wherein they learn that closing their eyes is exactly the same as covering them, at which point 99% of candidates drop out, lose touch with reality, or attempt to murder their instructors. Those who remain are introduced to practical fieldcraft. This includes concealment, which is largely limited to standing very still and insisting they are a shrub. Unfortunately, most shrubs do not carry a disturbingly large array of weaponry or argue loudly with passing wildlife. Scouts are also trained in silent communication. A complex system of subtle hand signals has been developed, which is a remarkably capable means of relaying intelligence stealthily between operatives. Regrettably, the gestures are so subtle, most orcs begin by shouting, "Oi, look at my hands." Final assessment once required each recruit to approach an instructor undetected. This unfortunately led to heated and ultimately violent disputes, typically beginning with, "Saw you." "No you didn't." The escalating loss of both candidates and instructors led to this particular assessment being quietly phased out. Nonetheless, there are those for whom training sticks, roughly, and the role fits, approximately. Possibly the most noted scout was Gra the Gregarius, a most unusual, though ironically successful, practitioner of the position. Viewed with great suspicion by his peers, Gra was a highly talkative and friendly fellow. Upon spying an enemy encampment, he would happily stroll in, seat himself by the fire, and amicably discuss the weather, the shocking price of fish at the local market, and the entire battle plans of his kind. Incredulously disarmed by his openness and charm, onlookers would share their ale and toast Gra's health as he merrily and fluently relayed more and more details. Astounded tacticians would gather and listen, plots quickly forming. Happy to answer any question, Gra would impart insightful knowledge about his kin, their numbers, their strategies, their positions, and their utter love of frenzied, brutal, and previously unimaginable violence. Laughing heartily and oblivious to the colour draining from the faces of his audience, he would regale them with genocidal atrocities so warmly and casually conveyed that soon most throats were too dry to accept more beer. Eventually, Gra would return to his kin with thousands of boring tales so inane that they were worthy of being posted on Facebook, and sighed disappointedly, "Nice bunch of chaps, but for some reason they've all gone home." Another much less sociable scout was Snickit the Best Unseen. Having heard about and mostly misunderstood the concept of camouflage, Snickit wandered off and returned with the largest leaf anyone had ever seen. A few initially taunted Snickit's somewhat unnatural interest in his leaf, with such gruesome and dire consequences that word soon spread that the subject should never, ever be raised again. It was at this point that Snickit realised that he was stupendously skillful at camouflage. Wherever he went, leaf in hand, no one ever saw him. Snickit viewed this as a complete mastery of his craft. All others regarded it as simple good sense. The solitude that followed allowed Snickit to pursue his love of nouvelle cuisine, a style defined primarily by small portions and expensive prices. As such, he routinely wrapped saucepans around his waist, content in the knowledge that camouflage was about being unseen and absolutely nothing to do with being unheard. Nuknook the Self-Certified was another famed Vogland Orc scout. He was the sole recognised master of Orc Fu, primarily because he invented it. Having completed and approved his own training, and conducted his own external review of this relatively unarmed combat technique, Nuknook went on to found the Path of the One-Legged Ferret, a system that enabled a worthy practitioner to perch on one leg atop a stump whilst looking like a prize pillock. Carrying a portable stump, which also happened to be a very large mallet, Nuknook adopted an approach based on balancing with poise, elegance, and a considerable contingency of stupidity. He would remain atop of his stump for hours on end, until curiosity inevitably got the better of enemy invaders, who would wander over to ask what, precisely, he thought he was doing. This, of course, allowed Nuknook to assess enemy numbers, though he did struggle to count those that continued to move. Fortunately, the large mallet proved to be an elegant solution, and once everyone was lying perfectly still, Nuknook was able to complete his arithmetic without further difficulty. And here it's easy to see that the HALOT-X1 has done a beautiful job. Botanists will be screaming that veins appear on the underside of leaves, but this is Vogland, anything is possible, and I don't care, because the detail we're seeing is absolutely amazing. I genuinely didn't expect this to stand out so well. After a bit of very rough slapshot painting, here we have Snickit and Nuknook in all their splendour. Remember, these models are pre-supported and completely free to download, and I'd love to hear how you get on with them. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and thanks for watching.